My guest tonight is an Emmy award-winning comedian and actor who co-created and starred in the British television series The Office. His most recent series, Afterlife, can be streamed on Netflix. Please welcome our good friend, Mr. Ricky Gervais. Ricky, how are you?
Good. Yeah, fine.
You are in England, and I understand you guys just went into lockdown again. Is that right?
Yeah, our second wave. We'd just come out actually, but it went crazy again. And so yeah, we're in our second lockdown just for one month to sort things out. So
right.
Yeah, it's like this year's been no different to me. I don't know whether we're in lockdown or not. Really, it doesn't make a lot of difference to me. I never like people coming to the house. I've always got enough booze for a nuclear winter. So I'm always on the couch in my pajamas by 6 o'clock watching Netflix. So the evenings literally haven't changed.
Right.
So it suits me. But this is good. I like this as well. The fact that I don't have to see you in person or smell you is good. That, you know what I mean? It makes I think
I understand.
That I'm happier. I'm certainly happier in this interview than our previous.
Yes. Ricky, you've always complained. And to be fair to you, for many years when you would come on the show, you'd say, I'd love to do this, but over Zoom, I'd love to be 6,000 miles away from you.
Well, it's great. Which makes me think how terrible. We had a pandemic before in the 17th century, the Great Plague, and there was no Zoom, and that was awful.
Yeah.
That was dreadful.
Right.
You get...
People back said, many people wrote back in their journals back then, if only there was a way we could speak to each other with kind of crappy resolution and a lag time, wouldn't our lives be better? So now, Ricky, this has to be tough for you because I've known you for a while. And let me point out also, we're on different time schedules. So you're not drinking alcohol early in the morning.
No.
I want to make that very clear to people.
I mean, I'm hardly drinking alcohol. It's beer, which is a soft drink. In England, so that's what you drink when you're hungover, just to get yourself back into it.
I forgot that in England and Ireland, when you go to a restaurant, you buy a child a beer instead of like a. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, even if it's not your child, you just say drinks for all the children.
Drinks for all the kids.
If you're a rich American, you go to Dublin and you go.
I've done that many times.
Children of Ireland.
I want Guinness for all the kids while I'm here. Listen, I've known you for a while. You're a bit of a hypochondriac. You worry constantly about your health and your well-being. Yeah. So how are you handling a plague? We have a modern day plague. How's that going?
Well, for the first few days of the lockdown, every other day, I thought I'd caught it. I said to Jane, I've got a temperature. She'd go, no, you haven't. She even bought a thermometer online so she could go, no, you haven't, right? And then I always think the worst, and I Google it as well. So if I find a lump, I think, well, that's terminal. It could be a pimple or anything. At the moment, though, to be fair, though, I'm sometimes right. Like I had root canal work, and I went to the dentist, and they're all in their gear and everything. And and now I've got a gum boil. So all that time I've got a gum boil.
Gum boil?
What is it? I've got a bad foot, a gum boil. I've got bad back, bad knees, and I do complain, right? And I think, I'm going to die. But one day I will be right. In fact, as time goes on, I've got more and more chance of being right, haven't I? It's what my nan used to do this. For the last 20 years of my nan's life, she'd go, I won't see Christmas this year. And the last year, she was right. So, you know what I mean? When I had the infection, it was an infected tooth. They gave me a prescription to get some antibiotics. And I went to get the antibiotics, and the pharmacist said, don't drink alcohol with these because they'll make you violently sick. So I came home and told Jane, and she went, that'll be good, not out drinking for a few days. And I went, I'm not going to take the antibiotics, right? And she went, you've got to take the antibiotics. So I compromised, and I drank and took the antibiotics. And I woke up that night in a sweat, feeling sick, going, I've got coronavirus. She said, remember you drank and took the antibiotics? I went, oh, yeah. I remember.
I did just what they told me not to do. I want to ask you about a boil. Nobody's had a boil in like 400 years. No one gets a boil anymore. That's a middle-aged,
I know,
1400s disease.
It's really weird. I've got a gum boil. I've got something wrong with my feet, like chilblains or something, or I don't know. What am I going to get next? A goiter. I mean,
what get a goiter?
Why am I suffering from those things? I went to the doctor and I had an all-over medical last year. And at one point he said, you're pre-gout. Pre-gout?
Gout?
What does that mean? It's urea in the bloodstream. So I think from booze. And I had an all-over medical. And I fill out those things, right? And I tell the truth, except units of alcohol. And I always halve those.
Yeah.
And when the doctor gets to those, he goes, oh, that's a lot. I think I've won. I go, is it? You know.
So your doctor thinks it's a lot, even when you cut the number of glasses you have a day in half, your doctor says it's too much.
Yeah, but they just make these figures up, don't they? It's fine. Also, people say to me, if you gave up booze, you'd live 10 years longer. I think, but they'll be the last 10 years. They're the rubbish 10. I don't want those 10 years. If I could have like 20 to 30 again, that'd be great. But you've got to have 80 to 90. And that's no fun. I've seen 90-year-olds sitting in an armchair, right? And they suddenly go, oh, what? I've broken every bone in my body. You just get brittle. And I just think it's no much fun. Just have fun and then die, kids. And I don't worry.
Do you mind if we put that together for a public service announcement that we run here in America? Just have fun and then die, kids, says Ricky.
I treat my body like an old car. I don't need a new one. I can't have a new one, right? It's going to wear up. I'm just going to have as much fun and then just break down and they just have to tow it away and crush me. And, we're all going to die. So being healthy is just dying more slowly. So I'm not going to stop anything, this is the most dangerous thing I do. Have a beer. I'm sitting down at home, right? And then it turns out someone can just cough on you and kill you. Well, no one, I'm beginning to think, I wish I hadn't eaten all those bats for Christmas.
Well, it's that you ate them raw. That's the problem. You need to thoroughly cook a bat before you eat it, Ricky. You always were into your raw bats, which was
I know.
I want to ask you a question. I told you this. I was in England and I got a chance to talk to you, and I was telling you how much I like your show Afterlife. I really do like the series, and we've got a new season now. And we talked about at the time, the show I really love it. It's dark, and it's clear that you are thinking a lot about your own mortality all the time, and it influences your work. Do you think about it? Do you think about how you want to go?
I think that I think I'm drawn to it, and I think comedians are obsessed with it because it's the last taboo, and it makes people feel uncomfortable. And I like taking people to the dark place, and it's like taking them through a scary forest and out the other side. I think that no harm can come from discussing taboo subjects, and I think we find that funny. We find being scared funny, and death obviously is the ultimate. But I don't think I think more of it when I die. I think I'm resigned to it. We're all going to die. There's nothing I can do about it. So the best thing is to enjoy life as much as you can. And I don't care about being dead because I won't know about it. That is the best thing about being dead. It's
You're not
it's like being stupid. It's only painful for others.
Yeah.
So, but I suppose I worry about how I die. I don't want to die, alone or in agony, and I don't want to die an embarrassing death. Do you know what I mean?
I think about that a lot. I don't want to be embarrassed or humiliated in any way.
I know.
I don't want that. I don't want that. I want it to be a very dignified death.
Exactly. Well, there was a years ago, there was a British MP that was found hung in his wardrobe, right, wearing ladies' tights with an orange laced with amyl nitrate. I mean, he was masturbating. Let's be honest. There's no doubt about that. So, I mean, I would, we wouldn't want to be found. If I am found, I'm not into that stuff. So if I am found like that, right? One of my friends has stitched me up. They've dressed me up after my death and called the papers. I just want to say that now, right? Have you got a wardrobe? I bet you haven't got a wardrobe big enough for you to hang yourself while masturbating, have you?
No, I don't. I have a very small closet. I've actually tested it to see, could I hang myself in here while masturbating? And I had carpenters come in and they were saying, no, you don't have enough room for that. Because masturbating, you need elbow room. And,
I'd love to see you go furniture shopping. That would be great for you to go in a big store and go, could I speak to the manager? What is it? And what's your roomiest wardrobe?
Yeah. And I'll be honest with the guy. I'll say, look, I need to hang myself while masturbating, and there's no room here for that. Plus, you still need room for the clothes. And so what are we talking about here?
And you don't want it to be too suspicious. You don't want people to walk into your bedroom and go, is that a death wanking wardrobe? So you want to, it's got to look like a normal wardrobe. And then when you go inside, there's things like steps and like a really good bar, a really good weight.
Now, do you want to be buried, cremated? Have you thought about that? What do you want to happen with your body once you're gone?
Don't care. I thought it'd be good to be just fed to the lions at London Zoo. That'd be useful, isn't it? Because we never give anything back. We take everything from this world. We eat animals, anything that moves, we eat, we destroy, deforestation, we don't give anything back. Everything we do is for us. We're not even food for other things. So I just thought, at least then I'd be giving. So also, I like the look on the tourist faces when they just throw this like dead, fat, naked, 73-year-old, maybe, if I'm lucky, to the lions. And as it lands, some people go, is that the bloke from The Office? And they go, what, Steve Carell? No, not Steve Carell.
The original Office.
Yeah, he's much fatter. He's much fatter than Steve Carell. Steve Carell's still alive and look really handsome.
And so the lions, the whole time that the tourists are watching, are just ripping you apart.
Yeah, the people are going, oh, they've never seen a person be eaten before. Also, I like the idea that the lion, they always start with the soft bits. But if two lions went for my testicles, right, they'd be in for a shock because they're really gristly and long. So you'd have two lions like about 3 feet apart. It'd be like Lady and the Tramp. They're eating my testicles, getting closer together.
Then they meet in the middle and kiss.
Yeah, and they fall in love. And all the tourists go, oh. And I'm just like,
one thing you're doing that is great is you're staying sane by doing a sort of a live stream on Twitter. And what's really nice is that your fans, you got a lot of fans, they get to talk to you and they get to ask you absurd questions. And then you answer.
That is the best thing about it, because podcasts are great and shows are great, but I think that the audience is watching other people talking to each other. Whereas this, I'm actually talking to them and I'm answering their questions. And some of the questions are really good. In fact, I want to do it live and use some of their questions because they range from really interesting philosophical questions to just ridiculous questions. But it's really good fun. And you're right, it keeps me sane and it's free and it's like a big sort of online club. So I'm really enjoying that. Yeah.
What kind of questions have you gotten that you've really liked? Where fans?
One question was, they know I love sort of science and nature, and they said, "What is the most amazing fact about nature?" And that's really because it makes you think, because it's so amazing. My answer was, humans are more closely related to salmon than salmon are to sharks. So it shows the vastness, the length of time, the number of generations in evolution. And then someone asked me, would I rather have thumbs for nipples or nipples for thumbs? So
what's your answer?
That's the difference. I said I'd rather have thumbs for nipples because then I could hitchhike while reading a book.
I think I want the nipples on the thumbs. I want nipples.
Really?
Yeah, because then I can wear mittens and constantly be arousing myself and no one knows. Just wearing mittens and I'm just constantly in a state of full arousal, but
Also,
everyone else, my hands are cold.
If they were functioning, if they were lactating nipples, you'd be able to have a little bit of sustenance, wouldn't you?
Yes, you'd have a sip of black coffee and then
yeah. I mean, you'd be a grown, very famous 6'6" man sucking his thumb, right, in public. Well, you go, no, it's nipples. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. No, it's a nipple. And they go, okay.
Trust me, they'd all know that I was the guy who kept trying to hang himself while masturbating. So in the hierarchy of embarrassing things I'm doing, this is nothing.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing. There's a nice one. If a time traveler comes to your door from 25 years in the future and you're allowed to ask him one question, which I thought was really good as well. What would you ask him?
I would say, how was I murdered? I would want to know, because I know someone's going to kill me. It's inevitable. I would say, and I might even be more specific and say, how did Ricky Gervais murder me? And
exactly. Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, well, what Ricky did was really clever.
It was the old collapsing wardrobe trick. Columbo worked it out.
Your masturbating bar.
And I get a lot of cats and dogs. As you know, obviously, that's what social media is for. And I like it. The cats and dogs, they ask questions from their perspective. There's one dog that called Bella, who's a whippet, that asked me questions. And one of her questions was, I see you won a lot of awards, but have you ever found a really good stick and taken it all the way home?
True. Who's to say what's the bigger accomplishment? Who's to say?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm question about your lovely girlfriend, Jane, who I've met many times. Lovely person. You guys have been together for, I think, 38 years now. Is that right?
Yeah.
38, 39 years. Do you ever think of popping the question, or have you decided who needs that? Where our relationship's fine without getting married?
Yeah, we don't want our families to meet.
Really? Okay, that's the best reason yet I've ever heard for not getting married.
And, I should say that lockdown's been a lot harder for Jane than me because she's a novelist. So she usually gets the house to herself, to work. But because I'm home, I keep hearing her go, shush, I'll play with you in a minute. Let me just finish this sentence. So it must be like having a toddler home.
Yes. Yes, I have the same situation because my wife is a playwright, and she'll be working on serious theater work in the basement, and I'm just wandering around, starved for attention. I have no audience, and I'm trying to do shtick and bits for her, and she's giving me Ritalin now. She's giving the same medication they give to hyperactive children. She's putting it in Coco.
Jane gets up at 5 a.m. so she gets 2 or 3 hours to write before I get up. So she has to play with me.
Well, you are this has made my day. Talking to you has really made my day. And
it's been fun.
Yeah, I always love talking to you, but right now, especially right now, when I found out I get to talk to Ricky Gervais today, I thought, okay, that's a good day in quarantine. I'll take it. So I want you to be well. I want you to stay well. I know you miss me terribly.
I do. No, I do miss you. I loved our chat. It was lovely seeing you when you came over. Okay. And I love doing the show whenever I can. And I still remember when I had to do one of those Emmy things and you graciously hosted it for me. And it was the best one I've ever done. It was so much fun seeing you out of your natural environment off the telly.
I know.
It was great. It was really good. Yeah.
You also have better put downs for me than anyone I've ever met. And I'm putting you, I have all the best, the sharpest comedians have good Conan O'Brien put downs. you always come in with some of the best, and I compliment you for that. They're very,
Thank you very much.
Yes, you always let your natural disdain come through. Hey, let me get the word out. Seasons 1 and 2 of Afterlife are available to stream on Netflix, and it's really is a terrific show. I love it. It's sweet and it's sweet and it's funny, and it actually does feel like a very good show for right now. It
is, and a lot of people have said it's helped them through not only lockdown but their own grief and stuff, because ultimately it's uplifting and positive, and it's very dark and it's very funny, even though it's about that subject. It's funny because I play a guy who says what he wants because I don't care about life anymore. So I should say it is a comedy.
It is a comedy. No, it's very. Trust me, it's. I think people would know, just you being involved, it would be a comedy, but it's very funny. And as you always say to me, cheers, be well, and cut your alcohol consumption down to, I'm going to say 15 glasses a day.
How big are the glasses?
They're very, very large, 64 ounce. You do the conversion for me. I don't have the patience. I don't, Hey, Ricky, thank you very much.
It is my pleasure.